Hello and welcome. My name is Anna, and today we're talking how to sense dark energy beings in the environment. They're a natural part of the environment around us, but it's really handy to know when they're about and some of the tricks and the tactics that they get up to manipulate us into creating their emotional food. So let's get into it. How to sense dark energy beings. Sensing dark energy beings is a natural skill that we all have, believe it or not. Your body is a natural dowsing tool. So every time you go out, you are picking up and sensing different environmental changes around you. And your mental, emotional, and physical body is going to react to these changes. So your body's going to use the 5 senses when it comes to sensing dark energy beings. We are a natural dowsing tool for picking up environmental changes. And these beings are part of our environment. Whether we like it or not, they are, just like the higher vibrational beings. But the dark energy beings affect us in different ways. It's more in a negative undertoning when they affect us. It's our body giving us warning signals, whether it be mentally, emotionally, physically. We may see, hear, feel, experience something that we know is around us, but we can't explain why. So sometimes people's vision can be impaired when it comes to sensing dark energy beings. Now, if it's not a diagnosed condition, then sudden changes in your vision, or it goes blurry, or you might get a headache over your eyes, or you start seeing dark shadows moving around the house or around people, or you get flashes of dark coloured lights moving around. That is your eyes letting you know that dark energy beings are present. Now, quite often people will hear voices. Now, this can be a medically diagnosed condition, but I'm talking about this from an energetic perspective and from my experiences and my clients' experiences. I've had clients who've experienced whispers in their house in the middle of the night and everyone is in bed, or they've heard yelling which was so loud that it actually woke them up with a start. Now, a lot of people are going to feel the presence of dark energy beings. They're not going to equate it to being dark energy, but I can say from my perspective, I've lived with this all my life. I can walk into the supermarket and have a totally clear mind. I'm feeling really good about the day, and all of a sudden I walk up a particular aisle and there's a patch of dense energy, and I just happen to walk straight through it. After I stepped through that, I have picked up some dark or demonic level beings that were looking for a new host. They're looking to hitchhike in someone's energy field. Now, if I have particular emotions that they're attracted to, they're just going to hang around with me until I clear the emotions and then clear the beings. That is my process for moving these beings on. But I'm very, very energetically sensitive. I pick up energy through websites, through text messages, emails, phone calls, places. It's really, really interesting to be that. It's not interesting, it's actually really annoying to be that energetically sensitive, because it means you can't go anywhere. There are certain protection techniques that I do use, but because of my work as a transitioner of these beings, it's a bit like being the Pied Piper, and they come to me no matter what I do. This is how I can educate you about all their habits, their tactics, what they get up to, why they're here, and why they're a pain in the neck sometimes. Oh my gosh. Anyway, let's keep going. So some people who are very sensitive to smells are going to be able to pick up when there's some dark and demonic level beings around. Particular energy beings will drop a big stink. They don't all do it. I can't explain to you why only some of them do it. I don't know, but I've experienced like a rotten egg smell or a sulfuric type smell that was so unpleasant, like it literally burned my nostrils. I have a house healing friend who did a clearing job where he lives, and the job contained a lot of dark and demonic level beings, which he handled very well. But when he went home, he found that this smell had followed him home. because sometimes these beings can be disgruntled or upset, or they're not happy that they have to move out of a home that you've been employed to clear. And they will literally target the energy clearer, and they'll follow you home, and they will just stink out your house. Wherever you are, that stink will follow you. So this is when you need to get an energy clearer in to check. So I checked in on my friend and found that he had an energy being that had followed him home from a job. So I talked with the being, I cleared why it was there. It was disgruntled, wasn't happy at all, and I offered it another place to go to, and it was quite happy to move on. So some people's behaviours can change quite suddenly when they're around dark energy beings. They don't know why they're suddenly angry or they're getting abusive, and it can really affect them mentally, and they don't cope well. I always send my clients to see a mental health professional before I do an energetic clearing, just to make sure there isn't any underlying mental health issues that need checking first. Because these beings affect us all in so many different ways. You need to be aware of seeing your doctor, your mental health practitioner, always before you go to an energy clearer. Now, another way they can affect you is physically. Now, I have a physical disability. You may have heard me talk about this on my videos before. My walking can change. I can drop things that I don't normally drop. Now, I know the level of capability with my hands and my feet, but I can find suddenly I'm banging into things, or I'm tripping over things that aren't there. Now that's not normal, and that are not my normal behaviors. I've even had clients that have messaged me and said, look, I was just walking up the hallway and all of a sudden I fell into the wall, and they're like, I didn't trip, it was like I was pushed. So some people's physical bodies can react with their motor skills. My mouth, you will notice sometimes when I'm doing these videos, will change quite suddenly because I'm talking about dark energy all the time. I am a paranormal addict. I channel my addiction into my work and educating the people around me. So through my intention of talking about these beings, they're always here. So they can affect my facial features. My eyes may do strange things. My speech may slur, or my words don't come out right. It's funny for me. It wouldn't be funny for someone that was experiencing it for the first time, but it's a good sign for me because I know that these beings are around. I get a cough. Now, I'm not sick at the time, but I get this constant hacking cough that lasts for about 5 minutes when I enter people's homes, or I start to do an energy clearing job, or I stand next to someone and I'm like, oh, I feel a bit weird in the head. And then all of a sudden the cough starts and I'm like, oh, move away from that person. So our body is a good indicator of when these beings are around. Quite often people will get stomach aches. They will feel lightheaded. They'll feel dizzy. They get brain fog. Brain fog is a classic symptom of sensing dark energy beings in the environment. They used to do it to me all the time when I would visit people's homes in person to do an energy clearing, is that they'd give me brain fog and then I couldn't find my way to the person's house. It was literally that bad. Now, some people may sense dark energy in their environment when they're asleep. There are particular demonic level beings that I call the fear feeders that love getting into people's sleep. And I did a video about this, so I'll link that above. They like to cause horrific, horrible images in dreams, things they know that will trigger you. For me, it's the horror of human suffering, animal suffering, child suffering, it doesn't matter. Suffering triggers me in dreams. Over the years, I've built up a resistance, and now I know if I have one of those horrible dreams, I'm like, I didn't watch anything before I went to bed. I'm not revisiting something that I've seen through a movie. So these beings have shown me these horrific images to get me to create emotions so that they can then feed off them. They have an MO. These dark energy beings aren't just around us because they want to be. They use us as a food source. You'll hear me talk about it all the time, so I won't bang on about it now. But just be aware if your dreams, see, there we go, there's the mouth changing. Just be aware that if your dreams change suddenly and you can't put your finger on why, see a mental health practitioner, see your doctor, make sure there's nothing there that needs attention, then see an energy clearer if the doctor can't solve the problem. Energy clearers are really good at picking up on the energetic aspects of what can affect our physical bodies, our emotions, our mental self, and also our spiritual self. Because these beings know that we're all individuals, they will target us in different ways. So it's about getting to the core issue of why they are there. Now, I hope you found this interesting today, and you'll be a little bit more aware when you go out in the environment of how your body responds to the environment around you. Now, just because you get a random cough or your brain might go a bit fuzzy, doesn't mean that you've picked up a dark or a demonic being. I'm simply giving this as another point of view, another opinion about how they can affect us. If you do find you go out and you come home and that you have an ongoing issue that your doctor can't fix, your mental health professional said, no, you're all coming up good on my checklist, can be an energetic issue. So see an energy clearer, really, really important. And then you'll find that once the core issue's gone, you shift out all the paranormal beings, you go back to being your normal self. So if you're interested in my work, you'll find information on my website, which I will link below. I have lots of testimonials. I've been doing this job for 30 years. I have so much information I can share with you. So stay tuned. It's going to get interesting. So thank you.